Acknowledgment. We thought we start today with a down-to-earth presentation from somebody who really knows what it means to put a product into the container. So I welcome very much Mike Otto. Mike, hello, how are you? Hey, good morning. Thanks for joining as the early bird. It's not like Adam yesterday coming from the US, but it's still early for you and for our visitors here. Mike, you are one of the leading heads in the BetaView team for many years now. Yeah, I remember. I think you. I spoke to Markus Jaus 2 days ago, and he still remembered also the WIF program. And I think you're same age with regards to business, right? You followed the front end, the web front end of our products from the beginning. So you're really an old fellow and well known to customers.
Yes, yes, that's right. Yes.
I can imagine, just to give an entrance, containerization of BetaView. That sounds a little bit like adventure, right? That was quite something new for you as well. You did a lot in the past, but that was new.
Yes, containerization is a very interesting and exciting part of my work in the last weeks and months, and we're still working on it, and it's still very interesting for us, and it's new and it's exciting. That's right. Yeah.
Very good. Mm-hmm. I will investigate a bit deeper, but I know that you have prepared a couple of slides to tell our audience a little bit about containerization. So I will step back for some minutes and let you give an introduction about what does it mean, containerization of a BetaView system. Thanks for that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. So I made some slides for you. Good morning. My name is Mike Otto. I am developer. As Niels already said, I work in the BetaView team. And you may have heard a lot about BetaView in the last few days, mainly from Markus Jaus, who has presented some upcoming features. And this presentation is also about an upcoming feature. It is about BetaView, how BetaView can be integrated in your network in the future. And if we talk about the future, we talk about containers. And now let's find out what containers are. And this is what my presentation is. So we see here some overview containers in comparison to virtual images. And on the first slide, we describe containers by comparing them. What is the difference? Because you all know virtual images, it's mainly you're working with it in your company already. And these virtual images follow a familiar concept. They help to save hardware. But however, they also have disadvantages. They are not well suited for dynamically growing server farms. And that's where containers come into play. Containers are door openers for a range of different scenarios, which I will show you in a moment. Why is it a door opener? This is because containers have a fast start time. It is almost comparable to native processes. And on the other hand, they are encapsulated deployment units, which is great for us. So the runtime environment and the dependencies are part of the container. So we have something that is fast at the customer side, but can also completely control it. The software can completely control it by us, the manufacturer. So now that we have containers, it's a very quick overview. What can we do with containers? So for example, maybe you are interested in what we do with the containers. We use them for our tests, for example. We can parallelize tests with containers. To be honest, we are still working on it, and it's an ongoing process. We have many thousands of tests that simulate behavior of the end users, and these tests run every night. So they often take more than 8 hours. But if they run in parallel, it's faster. So this is something that we can do with containers. And now let's see what you, the customer, can do with containers. And you remember the slides that Niels presented yesterday morning. Containers are standardized. They fit into different environments. And now let's pick one of the possibilities. You may be using Kubernetes at Amazon or running a Kubernetes installation yourself. So take a look at that now. And it's unmistakably, as you can see, Kubernetes. There is a master node. There are also 3 worker nodes, and there could be many more, of course, more worker nodes. And we have Ingress, the door opener through which the traffic runs, and transport layer security, TLS normally terminates here. And we have pods. A pod is a special feature of Kubernetes. A pod is the smallest unit with an IP address. It can contain multiple containers. So now I don't want to explain Kubernetes to you. I just want to show you the picture and where in that picture you can find the container we just talked about. So, and here it is. There's a container, and there is another container next to it, the sidecar container. So what could that be? Our container is BetaView, for example, and the sidecar container could also be the converter, as an example. So within this pod, but it could also be on some other place. So this is an overview. This is what you can do with containers in Kubernetes. And this is what I wanted to show you. Of course, there were many more possibilities, as you can see. And but my slides unfortunately end here, almost. The next thing I want to tell you is what will we be offering in the future, what will be in the next release. And I talked to Hendrik yesterday, so I know Berhard, and he said to me exactly what you can expect from us in the next release. And you will get a Helm chart. For those of you who don't know what a Helm chart is, to put it simply, it's a text file with a collection of instructions for Kubernetes. And one of these instructions is go to a beta system homepage, go to our Docker Hub, and download the container. And there you will find the view, the Agilizer, license server, and of course the converter. And Kubernetes will take care of it. And that's all because you get a Helm chart from us. So this is something you can expect. And but we can talk about later. And unfortunately, this brings me to the end of my presentation. And I hope it was interesting for you. And thank you for your time. So, Niels, if you want to have some questions.
Of course I do, yeah.
You can ask it now.
Yeah, can you hear me, Mike?
I can hear you.
Oh, that's good, yeah. Well, first of all, thank you. I feel very honored that I got quoted with a slide in your presentation. Obviously, it wasn't too wrong what I presented there. Mike, thanks very much. That is big content, and I'm sure it is for me. It is something pretty new. Containerization, Helm charts. I made a joke yesterday already with Markus Grüneberg that I learned a new word, not really knowing what it is. I assume that this is also for you as a development team. So I have to say in the beginning, the containerization is also for beta systems. It was a pilot project because there were two teams working together in order to make this containerization possible. It was the so-called integration hub team that is very much experienced with build processes and this type of containerization. And of course, the BetaView team, which you represent here. And my question that I don't feel too bad, not really much knowing about containers, have you had any prior knowledge? So when we said we start this project together with the integration hub team, have you been qualified before? Were you aware what containers are, or did you start it from the scratch as a BetaView team?
Well, actually, as a BetaView team, we started from scratch. So we always had the container on our radar, but we could never bring it ourselves to prioritize it. So we were not really qualified, and in this respect, we were happy to be able to benefit from the experience of a specialized team within the company.
Okay, and how did you learn? Was it that there were some sessions done by the integration hub team to explain about Helm charts and container images or so, or was it really on the job that you started doing and you step by step learned what's it about?
Well, we made it step by step with the second team. We were always talking once a week. We had a session with the team, and the second team was doing the containers, and they always had questions. And while asking this question, I realized what the problem is for them, and how I can help it. And so I understood how containers worked, and I picked it up, and yeah, it works pretty good. But we still have a long way to go with the containers.
I think we have to explain and to illustrate to the audience that it was not just a steep learning curve for you, because you had to learn about containers, but the Integration Hub team had to learn about BetaView because they haven't had any knowledge about the application itself, right? So I think they learned also a lot.
That's right.
From the perspective of the ownership of BetaView, which is already now in its, I think it's the 4th release we have of BetaView as a product on this name. Did you have to change a lot on the product? So when looking at your chart, the initial chart you had, it was just a box in a box. So I could say nothing had to be changed to the product itself. Or did you have to do changes to the product in order to allow the containerization?
No, that was pretty easy. We didn't have to change too much. And there are also some customer projects out there who changed them, who made containers themselves with existing BetaView. But when it comes to a production and we want to do containers ourselves, we have to change a lot in the production pipeline. So, but nothing at BetaView itself. So it was a pretty good project for us.
Okay, that's good. So it would be an implicit question on this. If I would be a customer thinking about BetaView in a container or BetaView with a native installation, do I feel any difference between the two products then? Do I have to consider something special or would be for me, let's take two levels on this. Is it different for me as an end user? Would I recognize any difference if I, as an end user, are logging into BetaView in a container environment compared to the installer version? And the second, of course, is for the administrator, the one who is configuring BetaView and so on. Does this feel different? Is there something other to consider compared to installer versions?
So end users will feel no difference at all. They don't know how it is installed and what it is on the other side. Administrators know they have containers now. They have to understand some more instructions, and it depends on what they do with their containers. And so there is a bit to learn, something new, but the basic concept of BetaView is the same for all. So if you get it with a package or a container, there's no difference of the BetaView itself.
Let's stay for a second on the topic of differences. Okay, I think that is a big relief for the ones on the screens, listening to us, so that they don't have to be afraid that their end users, typically they are service providers for the end users. So I can imagine that our customers might get nervous by the idea that the system the end users are knowing might behave differently. So that's a good information and good news that there is no difference in a containerized version compared to an installer version. But is there, because the second point where especially also end users tend to get nervous is performance. If systems are slowing down, if you don't have a good user experience for that. So from the experiences in the lab, have you experienced any difference in performance? Is a containerized BetaView more powerful or less powerful, or is it all the same?
I would say there is no difference in terms of performance between the processes that run within the container or processes that run on the host environment. There is no difference at all.
Okay.
So on the other hand, if the load becomes a problem for the hardware, for example, then you have a good place with container because you can deploy it into Kubernetes, and Kubernetes will take care of it. So this is an advantage, and that you should pick up in the future.
Okay. Does this question we haven't spoken before, but does that mean that BetaView can be run as multi-instances? So can Kubernetes start up multiple container sessions of BetaView in order to increase the performance? Because that is something, of course, in a typical installer version you can't do easily.
Yes, that's the main advantage of a container, because Kubernetes can find out, the load is very heavy, and doing a live session, and everybody's watching now, and so it starts another container. It's almost exactly the same container which it starts, and with this container and maybe a third container, they are getting the load controlled. So this is a really advantage, and that customers should pick up in the future.
That's a good point. I think we haven't taken put attention to that too much even internally. We have to tell this more to our customers than we did in the past.
You should.
Containers. I don't know much about containers, but I know that there are many different platforms. So you can have operating systems in containers, you can have application servers in containers, and from the slide you have shown, I understand we not just deliver the product itself, we also deliver, of course, an application server which is needed to run BetaView, and we are using sort of an operating system. There are many technicians sharing this session here, so probably they would like to know which combination have we selected for the container version, and are there reasons for that, and what must be considered from our customers for this selection? What is important for them to know on this?
Okay, actually finally we opted for Liberty, and we opted for Red Hat inside the container as operating system and as application server. But the customer can view it as a black box because we take care of all of it. So even the customer or the administrations are not restricted by us if we choose this option. And maybe in the future we will change it, but now we are fine with our decision. The second question was, I think, if it runs on many platforms, yes, of course, the Linux inside the container can be different as the host system, so there will be solutions for everyone, and no obstacles from my side of view.
That's a good point. Let me try to rephrase it if I understood it correctly, and I haven't seen this from this angle. The question about application servers, and I know that some of our customers are almost religious on the application server, if it is Liberty or Wildfly or some other exotic version. This question is no longer of importance if you take the containerized version of BetaView, because we will deliver, we will take care, and this means it's a black box really for our customers. And it's not just that they don't have to take care, we ask them also not to take care, because it's our decision what we are doing, right?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Then I got this point. That is good, and we will of course be in touch with customers, because I can see and I know some of the architects in the customer organizations which will have a different opinion on this, but we will be strict. It is our choice of platform, and we will probably have to discuss this then with the customers.
That's it.
You already mentioned we are using a Linux system as the host operating system, and you have shown kindly the slide I have presented in my initial speech with the various platforms. Is that flexible from the beginning? So if I take the existing container, am I able, this one, can I take exactly the same container and put it on a Linux 1 Kubernetes pod compared to a AWS EC2 server instance? Or do I have to take a container which is dedicated for a certain Linux system on this?
Containers are not dedicated for certain host systems. So you can take exactly this container and put it also on Linux 1. Maybe Linux 1 is a little bit different. It's a little bit out of my scope, but mainly you can take this container and let it run there also too. But the administration might be a little bit different.
Okay, so summarizing what I hear from you, we are quite optimistic, but we would take the standard consultant answer, it depends, and let's check before trying. Okay, got it. But it's very flexible. Right. That's what I take from your words, that we are positive it should work. Okay. And on the last slide you presented, Mike, you have shown that, I understood you are taking 4 containers. The BetaView is not one single instance container, it is 4 containers with the BetaView application, the Agilizer component, the license server, and I think the converter as well. will there be some specialities on the converter? Because I know a lot of customers are using the on-the-fly conversion in the beta view application, and we all know, we speak openly, this is a partner product, yeah? So it's coming from company Compart. We are utilizing their experience in this. Is there anything special, anything to mention with regards to the containerization of the converter, or is it everything you said for the beta view is also valid for the container version of the converter?
There is nothing special regarding to containers with the PDF converter. And the reason, therefore, is because we control the whole environment, we control the whole operating system and of the converter. And so now there is no changing, there's no special for the customer. Of course, we have to do some stuff with the converter, but that's our stuff and not stuff of the customer.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So first project completed, mission accomplished. I'm sure you are very proud. You can be proud. So please send my congratulations and the credits, I think, of all customers to both teams, the Integration Hub team and the Beta View team. Great performance. So story's over, or are there further roadmap topics with regards to containerization, what you plan right now?
We go along, we will provide more features, and it's always our future to containers. So now we are also on the horse, and we will do much more with containers in the future, of course.
Okay, that is good news. Well, Mike, thank you very much. That was very, very important message, I think, for every customer from our side for these new technologies. I'm sure next time when we speak, we will learn much more about the experiences we have from our customers with the containers, and I'm sure you are curious as well to see what will be the first real-life experiences of our standard containers. We had in the past, and you followed that as well, the experiences from some customers having individual containerized solutions. We had some presentations at the Share or in our technology forum about this, but this is of course quite a new level of containerization. So I'm very happy to have you with us here this morning. Thank you very much for joining. Take care.
Thanks for having me.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.